Located in the far northwest of South Australia are the Arningul Pitjantjatjara Yankunytjatjara lands, the APY Lands. In late 2010, Housing SA and the Department of Education, Employment and Workplace Relations, DEWA, began work with communities on the APY lands to roll out an employment and workforce development strategy. This meant that local communities would not only benefit from significant new investment in housing under the National Partnership Agreement for Remote Indigenous Housing, NAPARI, they would also benefit from employment opportunities through the construction program. Since then, Arningul have been learning and working alongside Housing SA building contractors who are contractually required to include local residents in their workforce. On-job trainers and mentors are on site too, assisting local employees to acquire new skills. Since 2010, 34 men from APY communities have achieved a national qualification in civil construction. They want to keep working when the housing works finish.
Working in a job is really important for Arningul people. Working with the contractors, it's important, to learn more. They might use the Arningul people, to do a bit of like plumbing, plumbing and fencing, to fix a fence, set up. Coming from somewhere, from Adelaide or Alice Springs, we could do them, use the Arningul people, to fix it up.
When we first started, you might have got 2 or 3 blokes, maybe half a week and so on. But now I'm constantly getting 4 out of, say, 6 men.
The majority of them are always turning up and they like to get stuck in, they like to learn, they want to learn.
The community's right behind them, and at the start they were sort of a little bit embarrassed because they all wore on their yellow shirts and all looked very, spick and span and stood out. But as time goes on, these shirts fade and they get lost, and now that they've got their work ethics coming along, like getting there by 8 o'clock and work until 4 o'clock, they're starting to become a real package. And working with them and saying, look, we can improve ourselves. It's not hard. This is all we've got to do. And here they are,
Yeah, no job boring, sitting down home. Yeah, enjoying it, really good. Just Carl always give me idea, everything. How you do that, do this, how to measure.
Before I came up, you think, oh no, there's no hope. Then you meet these guys here and there's hope.
Yeah.
I can hope there's hope. Like I said, I'd employ these guys, no issues, The
only thing that worries me is they get let down. I don't call it a program, I call it employment. And I just hate to see something like this that's so positive stop.
Well, I like to stay on this job. Yeah, and I think that staying out here is a good place to bring your kids up to, so, because in town there's a lot of alcohol and all sorts of stuff over there. So.
I think the families are happy and the kids are happy, their family is happy because they're working to get paid, something for their families, for their living.
Well, it's making a lot of difference out here anyways, because the other blokes around here, we got no jobs and that there, they looking at us, and think they really want to do some work too, but there's not enough room here for the other blokes. So, if we had more job here, then maybe we could get more people, because there is a lot of other young fellas all looking for jobs out here.
There's been a lot of action already. My nephews asking for work now, what we doing. Tell them, yeah,
get a job with us and do what we've been doing.
We want to see more of young people involved, not only in the housing work, but in the community. There should be more jobs. The community with a healthy family working and the kids going to school, learning and saying things about the father. My father is a worker and I'm proud of my father. And older people that used to work looking and thinking this is a good thing for our young people to be involved and to see the community waking up again, you know, with the work.
Like in 1970, 72, when the government given us self-determination and giving us funding to run our own program, like in housing, maintenance, and then we used to work in all communities from ground to floor to the roof.
I've taken the step to employ all Anangu men as a result of those few years on the lands, working on the lands, seeing the skills develop amongst the men.
Young Aboriginal men should be able to gain employment. I see that when I go into a community, I see there's a group, and it's usually a group of white men, European men, you know, and they work together. I don't see amongst them any Anangu from the communities working.
For the white fella, when they work with Anangu, they got to really work a good relationship. They work as a team to make things happen. Very important. If you don't work with them, and then something breaks down, you know.
Yeah, we want to see the picture for Anangu keep on working with white fella together.
We'll listen to you, you listen to me, ngapaji, and we'll work better, and you learn. I will learn from you, you will learn from me, so both ways. And trust, put more trust into young people.
They can start to see these houses being finished, and that's exactly what the question on everyone's tongue is. Where is this going to? How can we create more work for these fellas? Moving on from just building to roads or whatever, general infrastructure, anything that can keep ongoing employment for these fellas, which I think would be a really important thing to happen.
There's a lot of construction work goes on over any period of time. It's often executed by different agencies, and we bring contractors in from all over the place to do that work. So what we'd like to see is some kind of prescription whereby those contractors are required to engage a proportion of local labour.
It should be mandatory that they employ Aboriginal people when they work in an Aboriginal community.
They're all employable and they are skilled, and if another contractor, they should give them a go. I think they should be made to give them a go.
We built around 33 houses in that first year in Armand and Mimley, and it was probably as difficult as the 1,300 we built at the same time in the city. We've not only seen houses, much needed houses on those communities, I think we've seen those communities pick up skill sets and confidence.
Anangu have learned a lot about mainstream employment practices and expectations, and they have developed a respect for the builders. On the other hand, the employers have learned a lot about how to work with, how to communicate with, how to respond to Anangu.
And we want to see it happening with our kids. I want to see kids do job and get a job when they grow up.